because as the community independent model has, it triggered and created a lot of conversations across the country, and then I think more than now 40 people standing across the country as independents. How do you see that changing the dynamics in the parliament? Because there is Liberal Party, the Labour Party, the Nationals, the Greens, and there are many smaller parties. And what role would they play, in your understanding, in terms of when they are, quite a few?
I heard Zoe Daniel describe the independents as the potential backbone for the country, because it's often with the two major parties. When they're in office, they say this, and when they're in opposition, they say this. And, they flip, and they end up saying exactly the same thing when they're in power, and then they disagree when they're not in power, and it becomes a really same for the majors. People are now saying, there's not a lot of difference between the two. Whereas for the community independents in the middle, there can be this stabilising process where, this group of people in the middle can actually be saying, we're a consistent force that are trying to push change for the betterment of Australia, for the betterment of our constituents, for the betterment of everyone. From a crossbench point of view, I think that the last time we had a minority government with an expanded crossbench was one of the most effective times when we saw legislation being passed. And in the last parliament sitting, there's been a government report, and in fact it's been shown that the increase in the crossbench has improved the quality of debate in Parliament, it's improved question time, and it's improved the interrogation of legislation with an increased number of amendments. And all of those things come about by having people in the Parliament who aren't tied to a party line. They're tied to looking at what's best for Australia, their constituents, and what's the evidence to make that decision.